So when Valerie told Terry and I we could say something at the reception if we wanted to, I thought, what could I possibly say that would convey to you how deeply we love and cherish our daughter? Words are inadequate to express our love. If I could sing a beautiful aria or dance a magnificent dance or play a piece of exquisite music, that might start to get across a little of our feelings for Valerie. She is our baby, our girl. She's our Val gal. She's our boo-boo. We are very happy for her and proud of her. Anyone who gets to know her has been blessed by her generous heart, her genuine compassion, her love of fun, and her undying devotion to Buck. I mean Joe. Buck is their dog. She does love him a lot. When Valerie and Joe were first dating, I asked her when her dad and I were going to get to meet this Joe Miller. And she said, I'll let you know. I just want to keep him for myself right now. I thought, well, he must be someone pretty special. And as we have gotten to know him and his lovely family, we found that to be true. He is very special. Very special. Who else do you know that will run for hours or days at a time just for the fun of it? His discipline and focus are incredible. His caring attentiveness to Valerie and his love for her is very evident to us. We were so happy to have been able to meet Joe's dad. And I'm sure this name thing is confusing to the Miller family. We met Valerie's Joe as Joe, not Joey, which is what he was called all of his life by his family, because his dad's name is Joe. He now has a brother-in-law named Joe and some other people named Joe in the family, I think. But back to Joe's parents. We met Barb and Joe to celebrate the kids' birthdays a couple of years ago, and Mr. Miller was a kind and gracious man. I regret we didn't get to know more of him, and we're sad that he's not here with us. But we are very appreciative for his part in raising a wonderful son. He is an exemplary man. Barb has been a delight to get to know. She's a wonderful woman, very strong and courageous. We are very happy that Joe and Valerie met, fell in love, and have committed themselves to each other. We're happy you were here to witness their commitment, and we wish them a long, loving life together. May their blessings and joys always outweigh their sorrows. Love ya.
Forgot to toast.
What? Oh, I forgot to toast. Here's to Valerie and Joe.
Turning things over to Joe's sister, Jenny.
Typical Joey, he didn't tell me that I was giving a toast until we sat down for dinner. So this is going to be very short. First of all, I wanted to make sure I took the time to say how much we love Valerie and how excited we are that she's joining our family. You are one of the most kind and patient people, which is very clear that Joey needs. And Joey, there's so many things we could say, but I'm going to leave a lot of the roasting to Ben. But we are very proud of how the man you've become, how you love Valerie and Buck, and how much time you take with all of us to make sure that you still are in our lives, even though you're running for hours a day. With that being said, I just want to raise a glass and say we're so excited for what the future holds, and we can't wait for Harry to have a little cousin.
Turning things over to Valerie's good friend, Shauna.
Hi. Val and I met at dance class when we were like 9. We spent most of that time doing a lot of giggling and probably less dancing, and I wanted to say sorry to Beth Ogilvy for disrupting class. Through dance class, our friendship has turned into so much more, so many adventures and silly times together. I want to thank you for navigating all those silly times with me, Val, and for the times that you've been there for me. Val's someone that you would want through many things, natural disasters, on a trivia team, on mountains, at dance parties, making really good eggs for breakfast, also a skill. So, good job, Joe. Through our adventures, Val has pushed me to be a better person and taught me so much about myself. She's been a sister and support. I remember Val telling me when she was back working at Grabba Java that she met someone in Springfield and that he loved mountains. And I was like, yeah, it's a win. Those mountains turned into camping trips together and these adventures she would tell me about. Joe, thank you for loving Val and being her adventure partner so much. And the life you guys have built together is beautiful, and it's evident the love you have for each other. I love you too so much, and so does everyone here, because you're so amazing. And thank you for bringing everyone here together to celebrate, and we love you. Cheers.
Turning things over to Ben, very good friend of Joe's.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ben Lazar, and I am the best man. This distinguished honor did not come easily. I have had to listen to Joe talk about running more than anyone in this room, except for Valerie, for the past 5 years. But I also like to claim responsibility for introducing them and playing matchmaker. You see, before they met, Val and I worked together for a couple of hours each Saturday at a local coffee shop each Sunday. At a local coffee shop called Grabba Java. If you ask Val, she would probably tell you that she did all of the working and that I was very little help. That year, I believe it was 2015, I invited Joe to the Grabba Java Christmas potluck. Joe brought his famous tuna avocado salad, which is always a favorite potluck hit with absolutely nobody. However, despite Joe's lack of culinary awareness, Val and he talked all night, and he became immediately infatuated with her. At the time, I owned a duplex, and I lived downstairs, and Joe lived upstairs. For the next few days, he came down every morning and talked about all the different ideas he had on ways that he was going to ask her out the next time she was working. I finally had to break the tough news to him that Grabba Java was a busy drive-through. So at best, he would have about 20 to 30 seconds. We settled on a foolproof plan that involved him tipping her $20 and then asking her to dinner. I then had to loan him $20. And the rest is history. Now, anyone who has spoken to Joe for more than 7 seconds knows that he is an ultra-marathon runner. Before I fully understood the magnitude of exactly what that is, I decided to come to his first race to cheer him on. I arrived around mile 50 on an ice-cold day, and Joe was looking pretty depleted due to the harsh weather conditions and the fact that he had just run 50 miles. A few hours later, as he came to the tent around mile 70, his crew was waiting, which consisted of Val, his Aunt Patty, and myself. Night was upon him. The temperature was around 20 degrees, and he was not looking well. I asked him if he needed me to come out there and pace him for a little while, praying that he would say, "No, that's okay." Unfortunately, he took me up on my offer. So I laced up my shoes, I had to put on a headlamp, and set off with him into the woods. I remember thinking, about 11 steps into the run, that this was a really bad idea. However, I knew that Joe was my only chance to become best man. So I had to run at least 10 miles with him. We ran through rivers, mud banks, and up and down windy hills until we got back to the tent where Val and Patty were waiting for us with 20 miles left to go. When we returned and Joe was out of earshot, I begged Valerie, "Val, please don't make me go back out there." Without blinking, Val stared right into my dreary eyes and said, "Ben, you will go back out there. Your friend needs you." I knew two things in that moment. Number one, I was never going to offer to come to one of these insane races again. And number two, that Valerie really loves this man, and he really loves her. Marcus Aurelius said, "To accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." If fate is a real thing, then here it is. I have never met two people more perfectly aligned. So would everyone please raise a glass? And in recognition of Val's heritage, please allow for an old Scottish toast. May joy and peace surround you, contentment latch your door, and happiness be with you and bless you evermore.
Is this thing on? Yes. I don't know how I'm going to follow that up, so I'm not. Just want to thank everyone for being here and sharing this special day with us. And yeah, we're just blown away by the support and the love. So thanks,
Yes.
everyone.
We are extremely, extremely humbled and very grateful for everyone in this room. Thank you.
Coming up in just a few moments, our first dance, parent dances, then we get into general dancing. If you got a request for dancing coming up, talk to my assistant, write down your favorite.